Hey guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today we're going to look at WarGreymon and BT16. I think now that BT16 is here and we have a big Magna X blocker to deal with, Raid is the way to go for this deck. So we're going to look at what I'm doing to kind of deal with the large blockers in our path. And to start, we have BT14 Koromon. So when a card is removed from your opponent's security stack, draw one. This is just going to let us draw every time we swing, so we like the sound of that. Then we have BT12 Agumon, 4 copies of it. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with Greymon or Omnimon in its name and 1 Tamer card with Tai Kamiya in its name among them to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is just going to grab us 2 pieces. More importantly, all turns when this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, we're going to gain 1k DP. This deck is all about being as big as possible because you will not see all of your pieces. That is just the way it works when you play a big stack deck. You're not going to get the perfect stack. So we want as many pieces as possible to facilitate us being bigger than the magic number 18k DP. So this is our first DP boosting card. Next, we have 4 copies of the BT14 Agumon, start of your main phase. If you have a Tamer with Tai Kamiya in its name, you may Digivolve into a Greymon in your hand without paying the cost. That's just fantastic. A free Evo is all you could really ask for in any deck. And then your turn, when you have Greymon or Omni, you get 2k DP. So that is also just fantastic. Then we have 3 copies of the promo Agumon. It does nothing, but the your turn inheritable is that you get 2k DP if you have Greymon. So kind of a worse version of the BT14 Agumon, but it is still a DP boosting egg, and so we do still care about it. Then I like 2 copies of the promo Zubamon. So on play, you can place this Digimon as one of your other Digimon's bottom Digivolution card, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, return the revealed cards in any order to top or bottom. Then if you have a Digimon with Legend Arms, you gain 2 memory. We will not have Legend Arms, so we will not gain 2 memory. But your turns, if you have a Black or Legend Arms trait Digimon, you get Raid. So basically, our top end is Black-Red. We are going to guarantee that we have a DP boosted Greymon of some kind that is going to raid into this Magna X and get rid of it. Or Rapid X, or whatever. Rapid X is going to minus 4 chaos when we swing, so we also want to be big and be able to raid into that as well. Next, we have 1 copy of the restricted Greymon X-Antibody. If you would Digivolve into a card with Greymon in its name, reduce the cost by 1 for each of that card's colors. The inheritable doesn't matter because we are not running X-Antibody. We do just like the cost reduction on the Greymon. 4 copies of BT12 Greymon when Digivolving. You can play a Tai if you don't have one, which is really, really powerful. And then all turns when you have Greymon or Omnimon in its name, you get 1k DP. Important to note, this cannot Digivolve over our Zubamon. It is not a black level 3, and it does not have Agumon in its name, but the DP boost is fantastic. Then we have 2 copies of the BT14 Greymon. When attacking, you get 2k DP for the turn, and then if you have a Tamer with Tai Kamiya in its name, you gain 1 memory, which is really nice. And then you gain 2k DP again. We are boosting our body so that we are as big as possible. 4 copies of Greymon X-Antibody. This is just a layer of protection. When this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name and an effect would delete it or return it to your hand or deck, you can trash 2 cards of the same level in this Digimon's Digivolution cards to prevent it from leaving play. Protection is just good, so we're going to run the card. Then we have 3 copies of the BT11 MetalGreymon X-Antibody. When Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't have its DP reduced by your opponent's effects, and it isn't affected by D-Digivolve effects. Then if MetalGreymon or X-Antibody is in your Digivolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k DP or less. We really like not being affected by D-Digivolve. We like popping small bodies on the board, and our opponent's turn, when a Digimon becomes unsuspended, if this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. That is also really great. A nice way to chip away at security because we are not playing a really, really aggressive package here. We're looking to control the board, get rid of the big blocker, and that inheritable is going to allow us to chip away at security without being aggressive. Next, probably controversial pick. I have BT1 MetalGreymon. Security attack +2. When attacking, lose 5 memory. You will never, ever, ever swing with this unless your opponent hands you way too much memory. But your turn, this Digimon gets 3k DP. Like I said, we are making sure, in the worst case scenario, when we don't get hardly any of the pieces we need, I want this stack to be big enough to swing over any of the level 6 armor purge bodies that we have to worry about in this meta. And 3k DP is just too juicy to pass up. It is really, really strong. And it's going to ensure that we are big enough to swing over anything. 4 copies of BT12 Wargreymon. It has Raid, which is what we like to hear. And then when Digivolving, until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon gets 3k DP and gains Reboot. All turns when an attack target is switched, unsuspend this Digimon. So the nice thing about this is we can swing over Magna X. If we raid into it, we're going to get to unsuspend. Let's say that Magna X armor purged into a Magnamon underneath. Well, we're going to raid into it again and turn it all the way back down into a Vmon. So that's just good, honestly. That's tough to get better in Greymon other than swinging past it. But since everything has a blocker, we have to deal with it anyways. So then I like 2 copies of EX4 Blitz Greymon, probably also another controversial pick, but when digivolving, we can de-digivolve 1 on 3 of our opponent's Digimon. So if they have multiple Magnamons on board, multiple Magna X's that are not immune to our effects, we're going to de-digivolve up to 3 of those suckers, which is really, really nice. The when attacking inheritable doesn't matter because we're never going to have a level 7 over this. 2 copies of a Delicate Plan. One of your Digimon gains, you don't activate security effects on any option cards you check. It's just too good not to run on main board, I think, right now. 2 copies of Crimson Blaze. We're going to deal with any wide boards, or if the opponent has a bunch of Magnamons like we talked about and you de-digivolve several of them, Crimson Blaze is totally viable to wipe all those Vmons off the board. Also punishes Agumon players pretty well. 4 copies of Offense Training. It's going to find most of our pieces. It is not going to find our Tamers, so do not use this if you need a Tamer. Then for Tamers, I like 2 copies of Yuuya. If you have 2 or less memory, set it to 3, and then when you digivolve it into a Digimon with Greymon, you're going to suspend this Tamer to give it 2k DP. If you digivolved into a same level, you are not affected by your opponent's option cards until the end of your opponent's turn. A little bit of redundancy with Delicate Plan, but I like the DP boosting, and I like that I don't have to spend the memory on Delicate Plan in order to get the immunity to option cards. Then 3 copies of Tai Kamiya. Start of your main phase and on play, one of your Digimon with Agumon or Greymon gets 1k DP and blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. And then your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon with Greymon or Agumon, he can suspend this Tamer to gain a memory. This offers memory efficiency to our whole deck, which is really nice. Blocker is also really nice because we do have some big bodies, although all of our DP boosts are, for the most part, only for our turn. But it synergizes well with the Yuuya for the DP boost, and then having a blocker in the way of some of these level 4 Magnamons or Rapidmons is also effective, I feel. So that is it for the deck profile. It is a little bit unconventional. It is much less aggressive than most of the Greymon profiles that I'm seeing, but I do recommend you give it a try. I think it works pretty well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.